In a previous video, we turned scraps of conductive packing foam that would otherwise be trash into a pressure sensor, and went as far as calibrating it, measuring real mass from its changing resistance, which worked surprisingly well. But since sound waves are just tiny, rapidly changing pressure waves in the air, and the foam can detect pressure, does that mean we can make a microphone? To try that, I took the foam out of the cardboard pressure plate and clipped it onto our voltage divider to see the change in resistance as we tapped it, and this is what I got. Alright, that probably sounds like a sci-fi engine trying to pass a kidney stone, but maybe the noisy ESP3280C just needs some help. So I dug out a transistor and rigged up an amplification circuit, and this is what I got. There was less noise, and I could actually hear the taps, but I couldn't replicate my voice. So I tried plugging it into my PC, which can sample at a higher rate and a better resolution with a lower noise floor. Again, I could see the taps and I could hear them, but I wasn't able to hear my voice at all. So, what gives? Well, this style of microphone, a variable resistance microphone, usually uses materials like carbon granules, not foam for a reason. Foam absorbs energy. That's literally the whole point of packing foam. Damping vibrations, the very vibrations we are trying to pick up. Not an issue for bulk movements like physically squishing it with a weight or a finger, but a problem for our tiny vocal sound waves. Even if we added a diaphragm, this material choice would kill our high frequency response, which is what gives speech clarity. Instead, let's try a different style of microphone called a dynamic microphone. It uses a magnet and a coil to pick up sound waves. A small coil of wire attached to a diaphragm moves inside a magnetic field when we talk. Moving a wire in a magnetic field generates a voltage that we can pick up and thus translate that voltage into speech. For our coils, we don't want to use just any copper wire, since thick wire can be hard to bend, and without insulation, it'll short when it touches itself in the bends. For this reason, I'm using thin enamel-coated wire that lets us get lots of turns in the coil, and the enamel prevents premature shorting. For the magnets, I'm using strong neodymium magnets to create our magnetic field. To make the coil, I found a cylinder that's slightly larger than the magnets to wind our copper wire around. Once wound, I added a little bit of tape to stop the coil from unraveling on itself. Since we want to connect our wire, we'll need to burn off the enamel coating on the ends of our leads so we can make an electrical connection. For our diaphragm, any thin, somewhat flexible material should work. Aluminum foil is probably not the best choice, but that's what I had laying around, so I went with it since it's lightweight and easy to shape. Speaking of shaping, I formed it into a circle and taped the coil onto it. Looking at it, our magnet should be able to rest in the middle of our coil, and to hold the diaphragm right above the magnet, I just grabbed a circular roll of tape to act as a spacer. This looks incredibly janky and probably shouldn't work, but in theory we have a dynamic microphone made out of scraps that should outperform our foam setup, at least at capturing higher frequencies, and thus vocal clarity. Again, I'll use my PC to sample it, since the noise floor is lower than my microcontroller, and it has a higher resolution and sampling rate. I'll first start by tapping it, and see if we get something similar to the foam. Right off the hop, we can see it, but we can't really hear it, so let's try amplifying it. So far sounds much better than the foam, but what about voice? This time I could actually hear my voice, so let's try cleaning up the noise floor a bit and doing one more test counting to 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That actually worked surprisingly well, and I didn't actually expect to hear my voice. There are certainly improvements to be made, like adding more turns to the coil, experimenting with the diaphragm material, and much more, but I'm just happy to actually hear something after initially failing with the foam. And with that said,
Thank you for watching.